Welcome to this video tutorial. This tutorial will focus on partner reporting in Jems. The entire partner reporting section is actually quite similar compared to the one in EMS, but there are two sections that are different, and those we would like to demonstrate in this video tutorial. So the basic principles of partner reporting is that from the project status contracted onwards, users with the edit rights under project privileges for a partner organization can create partner reports. Newly created partner reports take data from the last approved application form at the time of creation. This data remains static after creation. So basically, partner reports are not affected by changes of the application form, old partner reports that is, because this is a snapshot of what happened at that moment and when that partner reported. When a partner creates a new partner report, again, the last approved application form data is taken, and then changes are taken into account. So the two sections that we would like to address in this video tutorial are the contributions follow-up and the procurements follow-up. So two tabs in the partner reporting. So we are now in a project that has been contracted and the reporting model has appeared. And as you can see, there is a section partner reporting. I'm logged in as the admin, so I have all rights to see everything. Usually a partner would have only rights to their own section unless they are added also to the other partner organizations in the project privileges. With view rights, then they could also see the other partner organizations in their reports. So as you can see, there is a list overview, and you can also add reports and delete the last report if it is in draft. Here you can also clearly see that partner reports are linked to an application form version. So that is very important because the data of the application form version from that version can, of course, through the dropdown be retrieved again, and you can compare if the reporting makes sense in that time together with the application form. So if we go into the report, we will not go through the entire report, but particularly focus on the public procurements and contributions, because as mentioned in the introduction, those are quite unique. So the procurement section is a list where all procurements show up, created in previous reports as well. They are only deletable and editable in the procurement in the report where it was created. So this, you can see that it was created in report 3. I am now in report 3, so I can delete this procurement and I can also view this procurement. At any time, costs can also be linked to that procurement through the list of expenditure. Of course, only in reports that are in draft and editable. I can also add new procurements and they will show up in all following reports. So if I go to this procurement, you can see that I can complete some data, and this is basically data that is required by either the CPR or by the HIT template. And so this data can be completed for the procurement itself, and there's also fields to add the beneficial owner of the contractor with first and last name and VAT number and date of birth, and also subcontractors. So you can also add here subcontractors with the required fields. There's also the possibility to upload documents. So this is mainly, of course, what the partner would complete. So when procurements are created, as I said, they will also show up in this list. And what is important to know is that in the list of expenditure, you can also link items when, of course, choosing the right cost category to that procurement. So you can go, for example, to external expertise or equipment or infrastructure and works. And then you can go to the contract name and you can link that cost item to the contract. So we made a contract test and now you can link the item to contract test. So in all future reports, you can then link to this contract test. And you can also in future reports still add subcontracts, you can still add documents, you can still add beneficial owners, but the main sections remain locked because they were created in the original report. So if you would need an extension of this procurement, we would recommend that you actually create a new procurement, which you call extension of procurement, and you reference to this one. Then perhaps the most confusing section or misunderstood section is the contribution section. And this is actually because it is slightly different than how it was in EMS. Because there are two types of programs that might use this. So there is the follow-up of partner contributions received by the partner. This section is where the partner cumulatively reports on the contributions that he received. So if a partner has different contributions in his co-financing in the application form, they show up here. Partners are also allowed to add other contributions that they might have received. So it might be that they receive a grant from a private institution or a public institution because halfway this project turns out to be very successful. Then they have the opportunity to add that also as a source of contribution here, and to also indicate what amount he received in the current report. And this will then be added up and compared to the application form. The partner can also, of course, add attachments. So he could add an invoice or a bank statement to prove that this contribution was really received by that partner. That is totally disconnected from the financial overview. So in the financial overview, there's also the first table, partner expenditure, where you have funds and partner contributions. And the partner contributions are split per type of partner contribution. And here in current report, it indicates that for this report, 200 euros was reported, and that of that, based on the funding rate, ERDF would grant 160 euros, and it is expected that the partner contributes 40 euros. So in this sense, it basically means that the partner is expected to contribute at least in order to be able to receive this 160 euros. So they should put at least 40 euros on themselves in the follow-up of partner contributions. But in principle, they can put anything here. So some programs might want to reflect reality. This is also how it's described in the user manual, so don't hesitate to have a look at that. And they could really put in here what they received. So maybe for some programs, for big organizations, they receive an external grant in full from the beginning, basically straight after contracting. They receive their total contribution here, and they could then just complete this. So it was foreseen in the application form, it will show up here, and you could just directly put, I have received 1 million euros, and that is part of an invoice, and this has been received here. And then, of course, what the program should do is, we do not have a pre-submission check yet, but in principle, if you want to have any kind of automatic check, you would actually check that if the report is the final report, that the contributions match. So that basically the total reported so far will match with the application form. Because what, of course, is important is that the partner does not contribute too much or too little in the last report, because then the funding has to be corrected. If programs are more strict and they would want partners to really exactly contribute what is required for this report, they could also put a pre-submission check in the future on the current report and say that those contributions have to match exactly this section. And then they have to put here exactly 40, otherwise they cannot submit the report. So that is the way that both types of programs could work. So the tab here is really for partners to report other contributions that they have received. And there are a few other tabs like the list of expenditure, but there's no link with the contributions as well. Basically, this is the explanation about the public procurements and the contributions. So also this table is cumulative. So if something is put here in current report, it will show up in the next report if that report was submitted, so before creation of the next report, because data is taken when the report is created only from submitted reports and approved application form versions. And basically then if you have a submitted report and you create a new report, the amount that is in current will be added to previous reported. And then if you would type here a new amount, you will also get a cumulative amount total reported so far. So this is all followed up in this particular section. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this was clear. And if there's any questions, don't hesitate to reach us on the help desk.